We're live. I decided to start a little early. Not my cup being in the way. I decided to start a little early, um, just to give people some time to show up and ask questions if they wanted to, just so that when Sajidah gets here, we can start immediately. I don't want anybody to have their time wasted. Well, my time being wasted is fine. I'm so excited. So freaking excited. Hello. Just starting a little early, so y'all can ask your questions. I just want to make sure that when Sajda gets here, we can start immediate, because I know we all have things we want to talk about. So I'm okay, let's get it started as soon as possible. Leave your questions. I think she's only going to stay on to 6:45 the latest, and then I'm going to carry on just because y'all know I talk a lot. So yeah, I talk a lot, so I'm probably going to carry on after she leaves. But yeah, she'll be here pretty soon, inshallah. I'm so excited. Can you believe it? Hello. And I hope everybody has their books. I just realized I don't have a final copy. I definitely need to get one. But I love my arc. Oh, thank you. Y'all are so sweet. I appreciate it. I was let me get a little dressed up, our first author interview of the year. How exciting. I'm so excited. Inshallah, it won't be the last one. There's definitely a few more authors I want to have on here, but I couldn't not start with Sajidah. S.K ALI is our queen. Long may she reign. I'm so excited. Let me put my AirPods on. So we don't have any sound issues. Let me know if I sound weird. Boom. I hope everybody outside does not want to start acting crazy. But yeah, let me know if my sound goes out or if anything weird happens. I'm trusting y'all to make sure that I look good. You'll most likely hear a trolley often. That is Philly life. I'm so excited, y'all. I have a few questions, but I kind of just want to let things happen naturally, flow up the top of the dome. But I definitely have a few planned. Oh, I'm so excited. But how's everybody doing today? Are y'all doing well? Are you also excited? And literally feel free to ask anything, but also don't feel pressured to ask if you don't have a lot of questions. Because like I said, I have some, and Sajidah is a sweetheart, so I feel like we'll be talking a lot. I should do my ring light. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it here. So excited. Okay, let me pull up my questions. I want all the tea. All the tea possible, I want it. On Misfits in Love, on Sing to Misfits, on her new books. I want all of it. All the tea. Literally, this looks like a Google Doc. I'm screaming.
I already love the questions that I see though. Wait, who's Ifrats? I know I'm not the only person that sometimes like forgets characters' names. Feel free to remind me in the comments. I'm like, are you sure the whole book isn't just Donna and Zaina? Oh my gosh, I'm thinking of all the love interests. We have Haytham. Who else do we have? Who did you ship Donna with? Y'all let me know in the comments. Who were you like, yeah, this is it? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, it was Haytham. It was Noah. It was, who's the last guy? Nate. There we go. Ah, she's here.
So,
Malika.
Assalam, how are you, Tahira? Is it
Good.
Tahira or Tahira? Okay, great.
How are you doing? You look so pretty. I love that hijab.
Oh, thank you. It's my daughter's hijab. Hand me down. Hand me down the opposite way. Thank
It looks so pretty.
you. How are you? So is this okay, so I've been on stream. Is this Stream Yard? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I've been on it for an event and
Oh, okay.
this is live, right? Like this is YouTube.
Yeah. It's super easy though because you can literally just like click the link and it streams directly to YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't even have to worry about like comments or anything. It just shows up super easy.
Oh, so cool. I love your hijab too.
Thank you.
I can't make the chiffon work. I don't know why. It just kind of glues on my head. And
Really?
yeah. But I think I don't know, maybe it's like the kind of under wrap I wear or something. I don't know. Maybe.
I feel like the underscarf is everything. People don't talk about it enough, but if you have the wrong underscarf, the hijab, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
I've actually saw that some people have been wearing these like kind of like silicone like wig grip thingies
Oh,
to
really?
keep
Yeah.
to keep their satin hijabs on. I was like, oh my gosh, how crazy.
Well, my niece was telling me for swimming, she saw somebody do the wig clip thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something to try.
We're so innovative. We're like, we're gonna find any way to keep this scarf on our head.
Actually, one day I want to do like because like I remember like because I'm older, way older, and I remember when I was a teen and all the things we used to do, and I want like sort of like a historical like capturing of the different fashions and the different influences, and because I remember we had this one time, it was in the 90s, so it was like now it might be come back because 90s styles coming back, and
Very true.
this thing where we had like crochet pieces that we used to put under our head.
That's kind of genius.
Yeah,
I'm kind of into that.
Yeah, and it was like crochet pieces, but they had beads on them. Like we beat like it was just so elaborate. So the under piece was more elaborate than the outer piece.
I love that. Yeah. I definitely feel like there needs to be like an exhibit or like a video of like, you know, hijab through the ages in the US. Oh my gosh.
That would be so
That's cool. Everything. I love hijabis.
Support it and just like, you know, ask people who've been through because when I was in school, actually in high school, I wanted to be a fashion designer. That was like
my fashion queen.
Yeah, and it was like I have like files full of like designs I'd done that was like you know, hijab friendly and stuff. Yeah. And I never went into it, but just the fact that like so many people in the past we try to like you know, live fashionably with our jobs and our hamars and like how and we did it joyfully. So like that from like because now everything can be captured via, you know, so many sources like you know, Instagram, YouTube, and then it was just like between a few people, you know?
Yeah.
So that would have been
It was very like interpersonal.
yeah. Yeah. So it would have
That.
been
That sounds so fun. Yeah, definitely have to find a historian to like do that work because
yeah.
the hijabis have always been on it, and I would love to just see like the evolution and like how, you know, we're all circling back to, you know, like you said, like the 90s, early 2000s, even some pieces of the 70s. So I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. And yeah, like just I'm sure like throughout history and throughout like people have just you know been I guess like what I'm trying to say is not because the perception is always like it's something imposed or something that
Yeah.
people don't like joyfully kind of like you know integrate into
Yeah.
their lives. And so to like show the actual like to capture, not to show, because I don't believe in like showing people, like because it's not, our lives are not to show people anything or to
Yeah.
prove people anything. It's just like it's just for our own selves to like understand and see
Yeah.
our own history and like celebrate it, right? So
Yeah, I feel like that'd be so helpful, even for like, you know, new hijabis and like young girls that are looking to wear it. I love that. Oh, first off, thank you so much for agreeing to be on my live show. I was
thank you for
so
asking.
excited. I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I was asking like the book club group. I was like, should I ask her? They're like, yes. And I'm like, no, but like, I don't think she's gonna say.
No, yeah. I'm excited to talk about my books with Muslim readers. Like that's my
I love
like
that.
you know, I just I don't know, I always say this in interviews, like, you know, when you think of your readers, I think of my Muslim readers as my like most treasured part of the audience. So
Oh,
whenever like something I can do that involves like directly speaking to or interacting with my Muslim readers, I'm always like up for it. Yeah.
I love that. That's so exciting. Everybody is so excited to have you here. They're already like asking questions.
Oh, great.
I'm
That's
so excited. I have my arc here. I actually just realized that I don't have a finished copy. Definitely need to get one. But I love my arc. It's so pretty. I was inspired by actually the yellow on the cover. Even though this is gold, but it's like it works.
yeah, no, it's I love it too because and I only see it like more recently when I just glance on it. Like they really try to do like the layered effect of like
Yeah.
cut out flowers. And
Yeah.
sometimes when you're looking at it because you're looking at the people or whatever, you don't see that effect. But when you just glance at it, it's like, you know, it's a lot of thought went into it. And I really appreciate my publisher for just because something we talk about a lot is like how, you know, even if we have these diverse books, like diverse quote unquote, like books published, like do they take the same amount of care? Do they take
Mm.
like do they put the same amount of effort to make it like beautiful and just like they value it? And so I
Yeah.
feel like with my covers,
Absolutely.
alhamdulillah, like I've been really blessed to have those kind of like investments in the covers.
I
Yeah.
feel like your covers are iconic. Like I feel like, you know, I'm like, okay, this is a S.K Ali cover.
It stands out, right? Like it really stands
It
out. Like
does.
they do that. Yeah. And
Especially like a bookstore. I'm like, you see these covers and
yeah.
it's so adverse to like some people who think that like, oh, hijab is like only like dark black colors. And it's like,
No.
no.
And also like I'm wondering because you know they announced Love for Mecca to Medina. And I can't wait for that cover. I'm like, this is like I can, you know, because just also the fact that like it's set during Umrah
Yeah.
in Medina. To me, that's like I just want to make sure that there's a responsibility in, you know, we always talk about like representation.
Yeah.
So few, there's such a responsibility, but with this being the setting, like
Yeah.
there's an extra layer, you know, because it's not
Yeah.
like
Of care and attention.
yeah. So I can't wait for that one. I don't know.
Oh, I'm so excited to see
Yeah.
it. And yeah, definitely have like a few questions about that later
Yeah.
on. We'll get to that. I love Misfits in Love.
Oh,
It's so interesting because when I read Saints and Misfits, I loved it, of course, but there was, you know, still somewhat of a disconnect just because I was a little bit older than
mhm.
how old Donna was.
Yeah.
But like reading Misfits in Love, you know, like we'll fast forward a few years, she's a little bit like more older. She's more, into herself and kind of like figuring out who she is. And I feel like it replicated on the page, and I just related instantly. There were so many chapters I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
hi girl, like I loved you before, but like I love her.
Oh.
Even how, you know, she's a bit more introverted, and it's so funny, she reminds me of like the emo version of myself when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
Like her always wanting to wear black and
Mm.
just kind of being unapologetic about it, but still being willing to sometimes, you know, step outside of her comfort zone and interact with people, especially with something like a wedding. What was like the biggest difference between writing Misfits in Love versus Saints and Misfits?
So the biggest difference would have been that I intentionally went into it wanting to set it to something a little bit, you know, obviously more joyous.
Yeah.
So I think that that was the difference. And like with Saints and Misfits, her trauma permeated so many of the ways. Like, you know, just even her interactions with different people and stuff, like it was all through that lens. So
Yeah.
in this case, like I had to, you know, like, you know, obviously hold that part of her, and then at the same time like give her some like, you know, just some expressions of joy that, you know, that makes sense for Jenna, because Jenna,
Yeah.
like, you know, she's not like, yay, like, you know, all she's not like, you know, the life's the party type of person. So so just to, yeah, so the difference was just, you know, making sure that who she was in Saints and Misfits was brought here, but just filling her surroundings with more joy, you know,
Yeah.
until she realizes some things about, you know, her actually immediate circle and her family and stuff that, you know,
Yeah.
she grapples with. And yeah, so that was the difference, just the way that it, like I approached the story.
I love that. And I think it's important to see that even after, like, you know, sometimes in life when you are going through trauma, you kind of just think about it as like pre-trauma and post-trauma, but sometimes forget that you are still supposed to just like live life. And
Yeah.
things like weddings, you know, they
Yeah.
happen, and like
Yeah.
interacting with family, and you still have to like figure that out
Yeah.
while still dealing with your own internal things. And I feel like it was just so real. I loved the wedding aspect. I feel like it was so genius, because there's one thing about Muslims, no matter what culture you're from, our weddings are they're so insane.
Mhm.
Yes, they're literally like the highlight of the community, of the town. Like everybody will talk about it for forever. But I know that weddings in real life are a lot. How was it writing it? You know, all these different moving parts and characters and.
Well, yeah. So I made the decision that I would like, you know, this would be considered a small wedding when it wasn't. That it was that the dad was like, you know, positioning it. No, it's going to be small, whatever. And then it just runs away. But I knew that because I didn't want it. I didn't want to do the full wedding, like, you know. So I wanted to do it like more like the Muslim version of a cozy wedding by the lake. So that it was okay. It was just like because I actually love to write within very like a constrained way, either whether it like it has the book has to be done over, like with Love from A to Z, it was done within 2 weeks, it has to be done, right? And so I love that. I think for me, and I think not just for me, but I think for a lot of creatives, constraints actually make more creativity. So so the constraint of having like the wedding weekend, and then making sure that, you know, there's these things to be done, there's like, you know, this is going to happen, the henna party is going to happen. And I loved that. And I loved yeah, I loved the fact that I had to abide by the rules or the things of wedding preparation. And I would know like, okay, they're gonna have like a favors assembly, wedding favors assembly. So those were like, it really helped me, because I'm like, okay, then the scene can be set to the waivers assembly. Wedding assembly. So like all of that, it was, and then it was like, oh, this is, you know, because one of the things I do when I write is I have like a blank calendar, and I plot out things on a calendar. So for me, I'm like, oh, it's just, oh, Jummah is on the day, this day. So of course there's going to be like something happens at Jummah. So it actually, I love that. I love that. And I think anybody who's a writer out there, you know, Tahira, are you a writer as well? Like you writing, dabbling with writing?
I would definitely say I'm a writer, but the idea of like committing to a story is where I mess up. I'm actually one of those people where like I grew up writing poetry, I grew up writing songs, but I never finished. Like my journals are full of just like stories and songs that I started, got to the halfway point, and like never finished. So when people say like, oh yeah, just write your story, think about the ending and go backwards. I don't know the ending. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I kind of just like leave them there. So I love the idea of like a calendar. I feel like it definitely helps and adds some structure. That actually makes a lot of sense. It's like organized chaos in a way.
Exactly, because I feel the same as you. Like I'm like, oh, but I don't know where things are going, and I don't know like and the I don't know part of it is also exciting, but with constraints, it actually gets you to stay to your focus. To okay, this is going to be next. You're going to be like the structure part is really conducive for creativity. So I love staying to the guidelines of like a wedding that's hastily put together, but it's become a big
I'm definitely gonna have to take that tip because I think it makes sense. Sometimes your creativity is just so broad, and like the limits they give you like space and time to really like flesh out those ideas in this specific time. I love that. I mean, you were writing this during the pandemic, right? How was that?
So I know I started before the pandemic. I started in 2019. Then I was revising it like in working on the editorial part within the pandemic. So we had discussions with my editor about like do we say it's a COVID wedding, like because the date,
the drama.
The date was 2021. It was like actually in 2021, like the wedding date. And so I was like, do we? And then we just decided no, because people remember, hopefully readers will remember what like pre-pandemic life was like. And hopefully by very soon, things are opening up, and it just be a little thing in our lives. So, I mean, not a little thing. It's, has affected so many people, but in terms of the way life was during the pandemic will not be. But I think like, because somebody asked me, some of the issues in there, were they informed by what things that happened in 2020 in the summer and stuff? And I was like, no, those issues were, I knew I was going to address those issues in 2019 when I was writing. I wanted to. So that was from.
I love that. And I also love that you never shy away from like the quote unquote controversial topics. I was just like going into it, like, let's just be real about what it means to be Muslim, because we're people. Like, Islam is perfect, but we as Muslims are not. And so we all have different experiences, especially because, alhamdulillah, Islam is such a beautiful religion with so many different types of people. It's just normal to acknowledge and talk about the fact that no, we're not just all at Juma, like, singing Kumbaya. Like that's not the way things work. And I love that you mentioned some of the intercultural tensions between Muslims, whether it's like I guess they coined it like, like the cultural supremacy of some people, but then also like the complete lack of regard for others. So I know you just mentioned that you always wanted to write that in the story. Why was that important for you?
So I like, as a writer, I've never wanted to, ever since university, wanted to shy away from like anything that is like real and real issues. Like I've always been committed to that, because when else are we gonna like look at them? Like when it's just like there's nothing good about not talking about these things and not talking about the things that we don't want to be our realities. So I've never shied away from it. And then, but with this, with Misfit and Love, originally I had set out to write Jenna and Noah getting together. And that was my oh gosh, spoilers, there's gonna be spoilers, but like,
please feel free, go spoilers. I pretty much in my life shows I will tell the whole book. Like we'll start from there.
So I that was my original intention, in terms of because I wanted to write like a love story again, but then it was I was having conversations with friends, and one of my friends pointed out that why don't you write like some of the things that really happen when there's cultural marriage and stuff. And I know enough of my life about these things from like friends, from being in an intercultural marriage myself. And so that these are real things. So I was like, yeah, I won't shy away from it. I did have a fear that, that I wasn't going to do it justice. And I wasn't going to do like a full, because I like to do as much of like a full examination as I can
Yeah.
of the novel. And the friend who was talking to me about it and I was consulting about it, she said to me, well, you're not going to be able to do the full thing because it's not yours. It's not only yours. And it's not,
Right.
you're going to contribute one part of it. And it's like that's what I mentioned in my author's note, that I'm doing a sliver, and hopefully people will read the experiences of, Black authors writing their experience,
Yeah.
just different, different contributions, and then it'll make a fullness. And I also had this like, I guess this like, not, I don't know if it's fear or like the sadness that, what does it feel like to read something that's close to your experiences, and
Mhm.
and then in the middle of a joyous book, right? Like
Yeah.
I had that, and I interacted actually with a reader who pointed out that like, they loved the book, but they were surprised that there was those issues. As a Black reader themselves, like they were like, oh, I kind of wanted to just escape. And then
Mm.
I was like, well, this is one thing, and there's so many other stories. And for example, in Love from A to Z, it's in the same universe, and
Yeah.
Zainab's brother is married to a Black woman, and they don't have those kind of
Yeah.
intercultural things. So it's like in that like book, like in those, in the stories that's coming next year, you're going to see a different kind of like a different kind of interaction. So like one is just one, I guess, capturing of one thing, and there's
Yeah.
capturings, and I hope there's more capturings from like lots of different writers. And so I didn't want to shy away, because yeah, like I wanted people to one of the things I wanted people to do is think about how we could do like, performative, um, you know, like a tweet, retweet tweets,
Yeah.
share things, but then what about in your own family, in your own circles, when
Yeah. That's the hardest part.
yeah, we're all confronted with it, and the change comes from like that kind of change. I really believe comes from within the little circles, and I wanted to people to pause to think about that aspect. Yeah.
I really appreciated seeing that in the story, because as much as I read for escapism, like I say this all the time, that reading like saved my life, the way that I was able to just escape into a novel and not have to worry about things like
Mhm.
police brutality, racism in the Muslim community, like all of that is great. But books, and I think authors and creators in general, like we also have a responsibility to tell the truth and
Yeah.
whatever ways that comes about. And I was just so happy to see that it was talked about, because it's so brushed over. I think specifically when you look at like the South Asian community and the Black community, because we both definitely suffer from the ideas of like Arab supremacy in the Muslim community.
Yes.
But there are still ways that, one community can also be prejudiced towards the other. And like that needs to be talked about, because we do share space with each other. It's very common for you to go to any masjid and see so many different types of Muslim people. And it was so funny. I actually didn't notice. I was so into the book, I didn't even notice that Gunna's father was looking at him crazy because he was Black. I was like, oh, he's just being a dad. But so it really was a shock to me, but in a good way. I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's acknowledged. I love that. Even like, him, like he had his afro and all that. I was like, oh my gosh, I love that it was talked about, specifically between Jenna and her father, just because they already have a weird relationship, the divorce, and how that impacted them. And one line that really stuck with me was when Jenna was just talking about how easy it is for us in our own like echo chambers to talk about, being socially active and doing things for communities. And it's kind of just in our heads, or it's in our friend groups, or it's just on our social media pages. But who was actually going out and changing the world by having the conversations with the people around you? And I love that. It was so beautifully well done. I really appreciate it. I know so many other Black readers appreciated that. It was just,
Thank
so
you.
good.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a that took a lot of like consultation as well to
Mm,
get, because I also had like my parts where I was like not seeing, because one of the consultants told me, well, Noah would have been aware of things,
mm.
and in my mind I had it that Noah wouldn't be, right? And then I was like, wait, it's true, like I'm aware
Black people always know. We always know.
yeah, like I'm aware, like because I'm in an intercultural marriage, and I'm aware when I go to my husband's, when I first met them and stuff, that there was something,
Yeah.
not his immediate family but his extended family, and like there was something in their interactions that I was like, of course I know it. And so those are little things that I had to like revisit the manuscript and like you know
Mm.
and add those parts, and actually like, and I was really grateful for all the consultants and consultation I was able to make sure that I got for to do as best job as I could in my little sliver that I'm able
I
to.
love that.
Yeah.
So our Queen Zainab made an appearance in the book. I know
Yeah.
everybody was so excited about that. And I was actually surprised about how much, like how early on she was introduced and how much of a role she played. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so much Zainab. And then Adam came later. So how was that? Like writing her and having your two main female characters meet? What was that like?
So I loved it, because I love writing Adam and Zainab, and I know Adam doesn't talk here, but it just because I was like, oh no, everyone's gonna read it and be like, Adam just like doesn't talk here. But I had to stick to their personality, right? Like I knew Adam's gonna meet Jenna. He's not gonna be like la 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 like Zainab.
Yeah.
So I wrote to their thing, and it was good because I know I want to keep this part as part of like this is the same universe, and
Yeah.
I just loved, when I thought about when am I going to bring Zainab in, I knew I had to bring her in at the moment Jenna needed her, and that's what I did,
Mm,
because I want them to have like a relationship that will spill over into other books. So introducing Zainab at the time that Jenna was like so low, um,
yeah.
made sure that there's like a connection forged that hopefully I can work into other books. And yeah, it was just fun, and it was like just in terms of like matching their clothing and
Yeah.
stuff like in
Oh,
Zainab.
and the dance routine. It was just so cute. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, my
Yeah.
face. And it's so
Yeah.
interesting seeing Zainab as like a big sister role because in Love from A to Z, like she's like the youngest sibling. She's kind of like the baby. And
Yeah.
so to see her kind of like blossom and like she's giving advice and she's just
Yeah.
like taking up space. And I was like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's just something like I just like as soon as I write um like Zainab and Adam, I find it so easy just to like just to know how they would respond to things and how they would be. And so Zainab, I knew she would be like kind of a leader in the situation, and like and at the wedding, and I knew she would be the president of the MSA, and like
I
it was
love
just
that.
yeah.
Oh, I was the president of my MSA and I was like, come on, Zainab. Yes.
I was
What a quintessential Muslim experience.
I was VP because it was at a time when they always thought, I'm sad to say this, but they thought only a boy could be a guy could be
Yeah.
president. So we had this president. He was kind of the figurehead, but I was really
Mm. It's always like that. It's always like that. Like they're like I actually had like it was very similar for me. They didn't want to make me just NSA president by myself, so I had like a co-president who was a guy who did nothing. Like that was my club. I ran it, and so when I graduated, and I was in high school, but when I graduated, I made sure that there were Muslim women that were applying and running, and like I was so happy that when I left, it was a Black Muslim woman who was full president on her own. I'm like, yes, I didn't get it, but you got it, and I love that.
Yeah, I love that to hear that things are changing, and I hope they change. Like that. It's silly. But, yeah.
So one thing I also have to talk about was the kind of like love square triangle whatever
Yeah.
shape this was that was going on. You also never shy away from talking about like Muslim women experiencing things like desire, you know, wanting love, craving intimacy. Have you ever faced like any backlash because of that? Like, is it weird for some people?
No, not at all. And actually,
I
no,
love that.
not at all. And yeah, I want to through all my books show that Muslim like show. I hate the word show because it's not like we're not showing something. We're just like it's just like the capture. I like the word capture. Capture Muslim women as desirable and having desires. And
Mm,
that's all normal. Like that's just, you know, and not that everyone has to have desires or, you know, want to
right.
be desirable. But, you know, growing up, Muslim women were portrayed to me as not being any of those things. And
Yeah.
which is not the reality. So for me, I want to capture that, you know, there's, you know, Jannah is like she's, you know, this one guy might be interested in her, and then there's another guy, and then there's another
There's
guy.
options because
Yeah,
she's amazing and she's beautiful. Like, yes, that is the reality. I love that.
yeah, and there's yeah, and there's like, you know, like why is that so normal for other people, you know, other, you know, characters to experience, and why can we not? And I'm also so over when people are like, oh my gosh, that's such a trope or whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, I think yeah, we should be able to do all the tropes over like again and again.
Yeah. And
Never
make them
not.
for us and tell
Yes.
our story. And the truth is, especially when you're Muslim,
Yeah.
love and dating and courting and marriage is messy. It's
Yes.
messy. It's weird. Nobody talks about how to do these things.
Yes.
Nobody talks about when to insert your father here. Like, nobody has those conversations with us. So I was like, okay, Jenna, she's out here in
Yeah.
very halal settings. Like, she's at her father's house.
Yeah.
What can she do about the fact that she has options? Like,
Yeah.
what can
Exactly.
she do about that?
And I love that. Like, what's wrong with messiness? And it's also like, it's also a thing of like, I think it's okay to figure out things. Like, I made sure Jenna in the book was like, she wasn't sure about like, you know, I think also want to do it this way, or I'm not sure, you know, like I think. And so that's okay. Like, that's okay because um there isn't, because the one thing about obviously being Muslim is there's not one way to be Muslim, and there's not
Right.
one way that, like, you know, people get into relationships and it's only this way, or
Yeah.
like I know lots of people think there's only one way because of
It's
their,
not realistic.
yeah, that's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
That's not realistic. And I loved, actually there was this magazine that was it's called Emil magazine.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you heard of it, but it was in the UK. I think it's discontinued. It was for like a period of time from 2006 or something to like 2011. I'm not sure, but it was like a short-lived magazine, and they had this like feature. It was like a how we met stories,
Hmm.
and I loved that, like every like how we met story was different, and it wasn't like, you know, this one traditional way or that way, or, you know, it was just so
Yeah.
many different things. And I love that capturing of Muslim love as being so diverse, and there is no, yeah, there's no this is the way it happens. And so yeah, so I just want to capture that as well. Like, you know, why can't you look up and see a guy in the airport he happens to be Muslim?
Like, why not? I think that that's so realistic, because another thing that people, I feel like, portray or that they try to teach Muslim women specifically is like, there's only certain parameters like where men are, and it's not realistic. There are Muslims everywhere. There's
Exactly.
Muslims that pass as not Muslim. Like, there's literally
Yeah.
Muslims everywhere, and you may be in situations where, I know, maybe you would have thought that the first time you met, like, the love of your life, your dad was sitting next to you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No.
shocker, like, real life happens. We interact in the world. We're not just sitting at home on our couch waiting for suitors to come in, even though
Yeah.
I love that idea as well. And I would love to see more Muslim women just like get into courting
Yeah.
the way that, like, I feel like we have the right to. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to
Yeah.
commit to anybody. I love that.
Yeah, that there's so many different ways and different and that's okay. Like I want that to be normalized, and because and I think that's going to be normalized as more of our, like, helming our own stories happens,
Yeah.
and not in the ways that the publishing industry. Because one of the things that, like, I notice with books that constantly get published with Muslim identities is that it has to make sense to publishers in ways
Mm.
that ping the things they know about us, they quote unquote.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't ping that, like, or like, go, oh yeah, oh yes, this girl would be acting like this based on what I
Yeah.
know, then those narratives don't pass, pass the gate. And
Yeah.
I want, like, one of the reasons, like, I want the type of stories that I write to become popular as well is so that publishing can see that these these authentic stories actually resonate, and
Yeah.
seek more of those kind of stories out, um and so sometimes I don't know, hold this responsibility sometimes within myself where I'm like, oh, if the type of stories that show Muslims being at ease in their skins is
Mm.
not being, like, is not being read by Muslims, or is not like, I know my books are being read by Muslims, and I want that to, like, really penetrate, like, publishing, so
Yeah.
that they say, um they're like, okay, we want more of these, like,
Yeah.
because it's really like a business, it's corporate, right? So
Yeah.
it's really like, does this product actually resonate, does it actually make sense? Oh, okay, so let's choose more. But if the other products that are like, ping the stereotypes about us, or
Yeah.
is a girl like that wants to get away from her Muslimness and everything,
Yeah.
is that's what's, like, constantly people are, like, buying up and stuff, then it just sends a message to this corporation
Yeah.
that, yeah,
And
this,
they're like, yeah, we want more. And it's like, no, but we
yeah,
we don't want more.
yes,
We're tired of it. Like the reason I made the Iqra Trials is because I had gotten to the point where I was like, I'm not reading any books with Muslim people. I'm just not. It was so traumatic for me. It made me internalize ideas about my
yeah,
faith that I actually didn't have. They weren't mine. And I was
yeah,
like, why am I doing this? And so I literally made the book club to challenge myself. I was like, who's out there?
yeah,
Muslim authors, where are you? Please. And I really haven't been disappointed. Alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful for you, literally the queen of Muslim YA. Like I was telling my mom yesterday, I was like, Mom, like you don't even know I'm about to interview S.K ALI. Like I was so excited just because I feel like all the care is on the page. Like with every line, I feel like everything is very intentional and it's normal. It's not performative. And I feel like you can tell that it just comes from your experience, being a Muslim woman who loves being Muslim. And it resonates with so many other people who don't have a conflict of faith. But also, as young people, we have other conflicts that need to be like helped and addressed. But in the lens of, yes, we're still Muslim, like even Jenna trying to navigate romance, specifically as somebody who was a survivor of sexual assault and sexual harassment, like that is something that so many people are trying to navigate and figure out. And also, how do you know what guy likes you? Like, I thought it was so funny when her brother was like, no, like, Nathan doesn't like people. He's just nice.
yeah.
But then you have like Lathan, who's like mysterious. And you're just like, does he like me? Like, what is going on here? So I know you said that you wanted Jenna to be with Noah, but like if you could pick a ship outside of them, like who are you going for?
So I actually wanted Jenna to not be like, when I shifted the focus of the book, I said I don't want her to be with anyone because she's not ready yet. I don't
Yeah.
feel like she's ready. And I don't know. Like I kind of left the door open because Noah is not married to, Sumaya, right?
That part, I hope everybody's listening. Did you hear
Yeah.
that? Did you
Yes.
hear that? And that's very real in Muslim communities.
Yeah.
Somebody will be talking to somebody, and then next week you'll be like, "Yeah, this brother's looking for a wife."
Yes, exactly.
It's crazy.
He's just talking to her, and so I didn't shut any doors. I wanted, like, yes, she gets, like, intrigued by Lath, but I don't know, they're also two broken people at the,
Yeah,
not, everybody's on their journeys, but I also know like they're, they're on paths of healing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I didn't want to shut, and I don't want to say, and I actually don't like. I just know Hytham's taken. Spoiler.
Which
He's
I love. Oh my gosh. The shock of my life. Because like how did Selsun come from talking about maybe an alien or a djinn to Hytham? Like I'm like, this is wow. The girlies were not expecting it, but I love that. I feel she is literally my queen. She reminds me of so many Black Muslim women that I know. Like she just gives me that energy, just like so resilient, so badass. She says what's on her mind, and that's that. And you just have to deal with it. And also
Yeah.
her being a YouTuber, I was like, I love her.
And I just wanted to like show how like, because I know, oh my gosh, did you guys know about this Netflix show called? Did you guys know about this Netflix show called Sexy Beast or something? It's like where people wear like full like masks, or like it's not masks, it's actually like bare faces and stuff, and they date, so you don't see what they look like, and you just interact with their personality, and then you choose whether you like their personality. So I was just like, that's so
Oh my
because women who wear niqab, like they're actually asking you to interact with their personality and who they are, right?
yeah.
And so it's so weird, like that they come back to these concepts that kind of we had, but it's just like it's so silly. Like this is so like it's just so silly. So like the fact that like Hytham fell in love with their personality, you
Yeah.
know, he didn't, and I wrote that like that one line where he looked up into her eyes because her eyes are the only thing he could see.
And in that instant, he was done for. That was so cute.
Yeah, and it was just like I just wanted to look at that. Like, how do you, you get to know. And the other thing is also like, I think like Muslims don't get to be seen in their wholeness, in their beauty, and because it's like when you see people in movies, in whatever, like
Yeah.
popular culture, you start seeing them as beautiful when you see
Yeah.
them. And all these, like, you're a YouTuber, and like you showing you yourself as you are, like people see the beauty, and like that we haven't had an experience of that, right? And so
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to be part of the people who contribute to the capturing of our wholeness, so that our beauty is seen without being filtered by others. And
Yeah.
I'm really, really, really fortunate in that my publishing experience thus far, I don't like to use the word allowed, because I mean, I've been able to actually do that, and not been
Yeah.
told, no, but this, would you do this? And even if I get that, I put, because there was like this one part where I was asked about like how Tats was really into wanting to wear a bikini, and
Oh, that was very interesting.
and it was like, is that like kind of like too much? And I was like, no, because I grew up with friends who wanted to take on, like, it's like appropriation, but a friendly appropriate. I don't know, like it's like this friendly thing, and
Yeah.
and
They
and
just see something that you do and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so great. Because
yeah,
like they love you and they appreciate you and they're like, I want to do it too.
yeah, and it's like that, and sometimes it's like, okay, so you just let it be, right? You just let it be. And so, yeah, sometimes when I see these comments of like, oh, but it it makes white people look weird, and I'm like, that's okay. We had to be looking weird for so long. Like, if a
And it's the real experience. Like they
yeah,
literally, there's whole
yeah,
pockets of like comedy that is just like the weirdest things that white people say and will act like people of color. It is the reality. Like that's just, this is what we have to deal with. So now y'all have to read it too.
yeah, and we've been the sidekick characters for so long
Yeah.
for things, and it's okay for white people to be sidekicks too. You can take
Yeah.
that quote, Tahira, and write that. It's okay for white people to.
You all heard it here first. Okay. Y'all heard it here first. It is okay. Put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah,
Put it on a bookmark.
yeah, and that's like, so that those are things that I just want to I don't know. It's like, and for me also, I had to change my thinking, and because I grew up in a time when the Muslim community had, like, now alhamdulillah, there's like, we have more power brokers. We have like organizations that speak up about our civil liberties, go to court for it. But I grew up at a time when it was like really like we were still establishing those things, and it was really like the dominant society, and then us trying to like make things happen. And I was always trained to be like, if you're creative, if you're a writer, and I was a writer when I was young, it was like, right to prove this wrong, right to show them this, right to do this. And it was like all on the agenda of the dominant society. It was like, oh, the dominant society decided you're a terrorist, so prove you're not a terrorist. And it took a while for me to take that out of my head and be like, I'm not here to serve an agenda that's been set about my people, my community.
That's not mine.
That's not what I'm going to do. That's not what I'm going to put my creativity into, because then again, we're making them like the power over us. And I was like, I want to write the stories. I want to write based on like what I'm concerned about, what I'm, the issues I want to talk about. Like it's directed by myself as a Muslim who loves Islam, and who's that's the agenda, not somebody. Right. So
period.
Yay.
Yes, to start and end there. I want to ask some questions in the comments really quick. I know you have to leave soon. Someone asked, any new YA books planned apart from the new Adam and Zainab novel?
Yes, there are a few more unannounced. So that look for announcements for those. One thing I can, like, a little hint I can say is it's a departure from my regular genres. So
that's so funny. Somebody literally asked, they were like, are you branching out into different genres?
Yes I am.
Yes, prayers have been answered, the duas work, y'all.
but I will never give up romance and rom-coms and stuff. I love writing that, so
it's needed. Somebody asked, what made you decide to take Zainab and Adam to go to Hajj/Umrah?
What made me decide that? So I wanted them to go on a trip, and I wanted a setting that people, writers and authors haven't really explored. And I knew that Umrah was one, Mecca and Medina was one that hasn't. And so I wanted that, like, and I also wanted a fall book. Like, I wanted a fall. So there's a cozy element because they do have some time in London together. So
Also, who wants to go to Umrah during summer? Like, that's a lot. Like, I mean, may Allah bless them, but
Umrah during it's in November.
The
weather is like nice. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. If that /Saints TV show or movie, and when?
No. So for Love from A to Z, it's there is a production company that's been working on it for a while, but I never really shared things until, because I know from a lot of authors that sometimes things get like optioned and then nothing happens, like for like years and stuff. So I always ask for duas, because that's all like in other people's hands and everything. So I just hope, inshallah, if there's something, you'll know. But right now I'm happy. I'm happy whose hands it's in. Like, that's all I could say. Like, I'm happy the hands that it's in. It's somebody who it's a company that really will respect the Muslim angle of it. So yeah, that's all I could say.
I love that.
For Saints and Misfits, it was kind of like in development with stuff, and then I kind of just let it fall, because I wasn't sure it was headed the right direction, and with something so sensitive, it has to be in the right hands. So so that's where that
we'll definitely keep you and our duas. I know we're all excited for it. I left the link down below for everybody to add Love from Mecca and Medina on Goodreads.
We're so
excited for it. duas, prayers, everything. This was so amazing. I know the audience is very happy, and I'm so happy to have you here. And inshallah, in the future, we'll be back to talk about so many different other books. But thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to us.
Thank you, and thank you, everyone. Okay, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Ah, we did it, y'all. So that happened. How are we feeling? Ah. Am I the only one who's very starstruck? Woo! Sandra is literally the queen. Um, y'all are everything with the comments. I'm so happy for everybody that came and showed up. Um, oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm probably gonna end this in like a few minutes. But yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. No, look. I was like, oh, she's so sweet. And what I love, I think the thing that gave me the confidence to like ask her was also because I've seen that she is definitely here to support Muslim reviewers and Muslim creators. Um, I've spoken to her a little bit on Saj's channel, Books Are My Social Life, and I just love how much care she has for us. You know, it's unfortunate sometimes because like some authors or even sometimes celebrities, they'll they'll talk about the fact that they're like, yeah, like love my people, shout out to where I came from, my community, but then when they interact with their community, it's so tone deaf, it's so weird, it's not natural, and Sandra is literally just an absolute sweetheart. I love her. I'm so shook. If you couldn't guess, I'm pretty sure I gave Mistress in Love 5 out of 5 stars. They are. That was honestly, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. That was like definitely a goal of mine. If y'all watched my Iqra Trials announcement video, I mentioned that I wanted to do author interviews, and she was the author in my mind. I appreciate her so much. She does, and it's very apparent in her work that she cares about the Muslim community, about Muslim people. Um, I know. Wait, oh my gosh. First of all, I'm not surprised because she gives teacher energy. Like, can you imagine having S.K ALI as your like? She gives such warm and like beautiful, sweet vibes. Oh my gosh, I now want to be a second grader. She can be my teacher. Oh my goodness. That makes so much sense. It's so funny because this is definitely from my ignorance and the fact that I'm unfortunately American, but you kind of just like see the world like and you just assume everybody's pray for me, y'all. I'm gonna travel out the country real soon. But it was just so cute when she was on live because I was like, oh, I hear the Canadian accent. It's so cute. I would love to go to the UAE. Somebody book me a flight. Book me a flight. Oh my gosh, really? How did y'all think I did? Did I do good with my questions? Do y'all think I can like interview people? I would love to interview more authors, whether it's on my channel, whether it's like something else. Specifically like, Black and Muslim authors. I feel like it's just really easy to talk to them. And even though I was starstruck in the beginning, I wouldn't say got over, but I just got so comfortable with her and she made me feel very comfortable myself. Literally, like any book she puts out, I am picking it up, and that's on period. But y'all, I think the genre is gonna be like new adult slash adult because if you think about it, Adam is like Love from Mecca to Medina is already gonna be new adult, like or new adult ish. They're not like kids anymore, aren't they? Like what 20? They're like 19 or 20 or something. Oh, mashallah. That made me feel so good. Oh my God, I was a little nervous. Also, I've been filming all day. Woke up at 9 o'clock and I filmed 3 videos. Not unfortunately not for my channel. But for BuzzFeed. But hopefully y'all will see those videos. I also do, yeah, let's do a channel update because I haven't like chatted with y'all for a minute. If anybody is down to just sit and talk with me, y'all know I don't got nothing going on. And also I'm in my new place, so it's not like I have anybody else to talk to. Oh yay. Oh, I love that. Let me find out I made to interview people. Period. Period. We're also gonna have a oh my gosh. Come on, professional. Actually, let me grab our book for next month because we're gonna if you see my teddy bear, mind your business. Um we're gonna have another guest author, inshallah, for next month. Um so our book for next month is something I'm very, very excited about. It's taken everything in me not to get an ARC, not to request an early copy on NetGalley, not to read it the second, not to buy it the second that it came out. Are y'all ready for Ace of Spades? Are you ready for Ace of Spades? Written by a Black Muslim female author. Are we ready for Ace of Spades? If you read the book already, guess what? You're going to have to read it again. I don't care. You're going to have to read it again because then we're going to have to read it on here, inshallah. Oh, I already know. And here's the thing. I haven't loved, I just thought about what edition is this? I think this is the no, this is not Waterstone. This is like the UK edition. I definitely want the US edition too because the cover is very pretty. But what did I say? My brain. Oh, okay, I got it. I have read Dark Academia before, and it's something that in my brain I feel like I love because I'm a nerd and like the college experience just kind of, or like the school experience looks fun. And this reminds me of, I feel like it's going to give me the vibe of that show, Blood and Water, or Blood Like What. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's like a South African academy show on Netflix, and it's like new adult ish. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know. But I've read Dark Academia, and it's just so white. Like, what's that book, Ninth House? Girl, yawn. The YouTube girlies are lying to y'all about it. It's a yawn. Don't know what the hell is going on in that book. Because all the secret societies are very white, very unseasoned. I haven't started what is it called? What's that book by Naomi Novik that Mayana talks about all the time? I'm literally looking at it right now, but I can't see the name. Something Academy. What is it? That Dark Academy? Y'all know what book I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm gonna try to pick up that book. But yeah, I'm excited for this one because it is Black Dark Academia with like Get Out vibes with African main characters. I'm just obsessed. Yeah, this is the Illumicrate edition, which has this little deadly education. There you go. Thank you. Boom. It came with this little enamel pin, which is so cute. I haven't even taken it out the plastic yet. I literally kept it in the book. Yeah, it's like Deadly Education, I think is the name of it. Or is that a show? Oh my God. What is the name of it? Let me get it because it's going to bother me. It's going to bother me. It's going to piss me off. What is the name of this book? All my things are still in boxes, so. It is Deadly Education. Oh, I'm so smart. Why was I doubting myself? Why was I doubting myself? It definitely is Deadly Education. I thought, is that a show? Wasn't that a show on like FX with Lana Condor? No? Okay. Here's a little pin. So cute. And then it has this bookmark. The bookmark is nice, and I know this is supposed to look like rain, but I just feel like you have Black people on a Black background. Like it's kind of hard to see them. Well, but they did do a lot of like detailing on the face, so I love that. I'm so excited to read this. I'm gonna try not to read it early. But what I did with Misfits in Love, I read it the first week of June, and I kind of just took notes for questions that I would ask while I was reading it. So I might just do that. But yeah, let me know if y'all are excited for Ace of Spades. Do not read it yet until the end of June, until July. Like, no, y'all cannot read it. Thank you. That's what a book club means. In regards to my life, like a channel update, so I've been making videos on BuzzFeed, as most of you guys know, which is, alhamdulillah, a very exciting opportunity. And I think it's definitely going to be beneficial for like my overall career, which is a very weird word, but like as a creator, very excited about that. However, it has been very time consuming, and with me moving, I haven't gotten the time to really invest in my channel the way that I want to, and filming YouTube videos and wanting to have the space and the aesthetic and the freedom to do so is a big reason why I wanted to get my own place. I literally have like 4 videos unedited that I have filmed. I have my Arizona vlog, which I'm doing like my little creative edit now. Inshallah, that'll be up very soon. I have a book / makeup video for Punching the Air, which was our book a few months ago. If y'all think I should still post it, let me know. I might still post it. And then I have my apartment tour / an apartment Q&A. And then I have my first week in my new place. So I literally have 4 videos that I'm working on right now. I want you to know that even if you don't see me on YouTube, I am never not working on YouTube. I am never not thinking about my channel. I'm never not editing things. And I don't want people to think that like I don't care about my channel. I'm not saying y'all do, but like this is just me talking through it. I love my channel. I love YouTube, and I actually am ready to make that shift from just being a content creator to being a full-time YouTuber who kind of creates content on the side for other things. I think YouTube is just it for me. I feel like I'm such a YouTuber. You know, like y'all see my videos, they're full-length freaking productions, alhamdulillah. And I love that. I love telling a story. I love talking about books and being nerdy. I love being able to like do my makeup and like do fashion stuff. I haven't done fashion stuff on my channel in forever because I never had the space. But now, like I have an apartment. And yeah, and it's rare to see the like aesthetic Black girls getting any attention. And I know that I have it and I want to do it obviously for myself, but also for y'all. I feel like, I don't know if it's just me, but I love watching super aesthetic and really intentional videos, even if it's the topic is simple, just because it literally helps with my anxiety. That's why my editing is the way it is. Like it makes me feel peaceful and at ease. And it kind of helps with trying to find like the beauty in everything around you. And I try to replicate that in my videos. So yeah, I want to make a full shift back onto YouTube. But if you haven't already, I do have quite a few videos out that I would love for y'all to watch. My modern Q&A / skincare routine is almost at 1K views. And oh my gosh, I don't know if I said this already, but thank you so much for 6,000 subscribers. How insane. We're about to get to 10K because I'm done playing with myself and I'm ready. You know, I'm done playing with myself and my channel with my talents. Like I'm ready for all of us to go to the next level, you know? But yeah, this was very fun. My place doesn't look that bad, but I definitely have to clean up from my video. If y'all wanted the details on my dress, am I okay? I'm tired. This is from ASOS. This is a little bit big, but I kind of love that for me. It's from their Modest Fashion edit. Yeah, also, I have a few videos on BuzzFeed that are out. I think I have about 3. If you don't know, I'm on the channel As Is, which is just AS_IS. And period. Okay, we'll do. But yeah, I'm on the channel as is, and I have 3 videos out right now. The last one I talk about embracing my body post some health scares and also post the pandemic. So yeah, would love you guys like comment and stuff. And then I also have like 3 or 4 videos coming on as is, the ones that I filmed today. So you will always find content from me somewhere on the interwebs. I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe go eat. Um, but I love you guys. Thank you for always supporting me and watching me. I think next time I go live, I'll go live on YouTube. I kind of want to go back and forth between Instagram and YouTube. So I went live on Instagram a couple days ago. Next time it'll be YouTube to just like chit chat. Make sure your post notifications are turned on. I'm getting a little bit delirious. Okay. Sound like you guys. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for supporting me. And thank you for showing up. This interview literally wouldn't have been anything if y'all didn't show up to like engage. And it made me feel definitely a lot less nervous to know that y'all were here too. So I appreciate you. Make dua for the Left from A to Z movie/show. Please go add Love from Mecca to Medina on Goodreads. Add it to your want to read list. And I don't know how people do it, but like they leave like a comment of how excited they are before the book even comes out. Do that. Follow Sajidah everywhere. I have like her links in the description box, and I also have her website linked. But yeah, assalamu alaikum, y'all. Have a good rest of your day or night, and I promise you'll see me very, very, very soon. Bye.